Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Friday. Let's go to the club. Let's hit the parties. I was going to say the streets, but that sounded different. Let's go fucking rage. I'm going dancing. Let's sweat all over each other. Just kidding. Quarantine. But happy Friday anyway. Don't go do those things, I said. I didn't even know that those were things you could possibly do until I saw some videos of my friends in Florida. If you are in Florida, don't go out clubbing. We had 100,000 cases of COVID yesterday in this country alone. What the fuck are we doing, people? Well, I think we're going to be having a lot less cases in the future because it's looking like, from my mouth to the voting god's ears, that Joe Biden is going to pull this one off. It still has not been announced by NBC, ABC, CNN, any of the ones that I have been watching, but I did talk to Natalia this morning, who let me know that Vox did announce it, which I had not seen until she told me. And Vox straight up announced Joe Biden as the next president of the United States. That was this morning, and that was wild. This is the article that they put out. It just said, Joe Biden has won. Here's what comes next. So yeah, some people are already calling Joe Biden the victor. What happens in the coming weeks is going to be very complicated and convoluted, but it's looking like at the end of the day, Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States, and Kamala Harris is going to be both the first woman vice president of the United States, the first Black vice president of the United States, and the first Indian vice president of the United States. It's a lot of big ones. So therefore, the first woman in the office, which is just fucking incredible. A lot of things to be grateful for. A lot of work still needing to be done. A lot of fingers still being crossed. But in general, I would go ahead and say it's pretty fuck yeah news if Biden is the next president. So that's pretty wonderful. We've also had some victories go down in the Senate that we'll talk about, and more when it comes to Joe Biden. Also, this Johnny Depp story just got a whole lot messier, and I'll be talking about Warner Brothers asking him to step away, or asking him to choose to step away from the Fantastic Beasts franchise. This is news that's worthy of talking about. We haven't been talking about entertainment news that much because of the election, but this is kind of an interesting story, and so I did want to break it down. And then, of course, Mandalorian aired last night, and you guys have asked me to do Mandalorian spoiler-free reviews on this show. I then, right after this show, will be doing a spoiler review for my $3 up patrons, patreon.com/Roxy Stryer. So I'll go right from this into that. So spoiler-free on here, spoiler-full on Patreon. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Plus, any questions, comments, concerns that you guys have right here in the Super Chat, in the Streamlabs. I can't believe we're talking about election updates again today. It is truly wild, but we're talking about them because there are them. So that's, as you guys know, I've been saying during quarantine, the way that the cookie crumbles. I didn't know how much I liked that expression until this year. Jake Yacovetta in the Streamlabs, or in the chat, letting you guys know about the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Jake, my amazing mod, thank you for putting that in there. Really appreciate you. And all 100 of you guys watching live right now, thank you for coming in here. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for being my friends during this very strange time. I hope that I've been able to be yours as well. All right, let's take a couple Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. After the show ended yesterday, Red Sands 1001 just sent in some support. Appreciate you, Red Sands. You rock. Thank you so much for that. Apollo 3JP in the Streamlabs today just wrote, "What up, Roxy? How's your Friday going? Plans this weekend? You down to grab a Zoom drink with me? I'll send you the link. You can even keep your camera off in the beginning so you know I'm legit. It can be the 2020 version of blind dating. I'll send the bottle." Apollo, that's very sweet. Nope. I think that it would be a strange, people have asked me this before. Would I ever date a fan? You never say never to anything in life, or at least I don't, because times change, all different stuff. But for me, if I had if I didn't meet somebody in person and we didn't hit it off like that, like even if they were a fan of mine, if we meet in person, it's completely different. But like to just like abuse, not that I'm in a powerful situation, but to abuse my power in that way, that like I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. You guys tell me, but I just don't think it feels right to be like, oh, you guys see me on my YouTube show and I know nothing about you and you know all the things about me and I've never even met you in person. It's not like we had that like instant chemistry. I just don't know. But again, never say never, guys. Never say never. If you have other questions or dating concerns, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Zadius says he keeps shooting a shot. I know, you got to respect that. Cinema says, I'm not a fan. Just saying, what, you're not a fan of mine? It's kind of mean. It's just a little bit mean. Jake Yoda says, the guys have done it, so you can do it as well, Roxy. I don't know, just because guys don't do it doesn't make it right. And again, like if you meet in person and one person happens to know who the other one is beforehand, like at some point I hope to be famous enough that everybody I meet knew who I was beforehand. But, you know, that's different than like, I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel. Okay. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Apollo 3JP says, abuse me, Roxy. I give you my full consent. Let's go. I'm not into abusing anybody, guys. I'm into treating people very well. In fact, I would say that I'm an unbelievable partner. And anybody who ends up with me is going to be a very, very lucky person, because I have spent a lot of time reflecting over the last several months about my ability to be a partner and willingness to stand by somebody through thick and thin and no matter what. And I've got it on lock. Like, you know, I've got it on lock, and I'm adaptable to change and are malleable and willing to compromise in almost every situation. And when things are really important to me, I stick up for myself, but I think I'm fun and want to be happy and am happy most of the time, and always want people to live the healthiest, best life that they can. I'm just tooting my own horn for a second because I kind of need that during this time, but just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. All right, let's talk about the shit that actually matters and not what kind of a partner I am, guys. Here's the deal. We're going to talk election first because that's the biggest stuff that's going on right now. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a presidential election that's going on right now, and it's causing a lot of turmoil in the United States of America, which is where I live. Apparently, people all throughout the world, though, are watching this election as closely as we are in America because it affects the rest of the world as well. This is going to be not a bloodbath. That sounds like Biden annihilated Trump, which he didn't. But this is going to be like a drag out because we're in kind of a messy situation. If you look at the election results, and every site is claiming something different. Every publication, it's different on ABC to CNN to the Associated Press. Like everyone we're all over the map. But currently, we still seem to be at a standstill, and not a standstill, but not fully locked down in Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Now, yesterday in those places, it looked like in Georgia, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, Trump was in the lead. Today, Biden is in the lead, but he is in the lead by so little in some of these places that it is hard to tell. In Georgia, they both have 49.4%. Both of them have 49.4%. But Biden comes in at 2,450,524 currently, and Trump comes in at 2,448,986 currently. So that means that by a margin of about 2,000 votes, less than that even, Biden is ahead in Georgia. So it's unbelievable. I think it's the first time in 28 years that Georgia would go Democrat if they did. But it's just so close. And that's why Vox calling it. is a little risky. Nevada, Biden's at 49.7, Trump's at 48.1. So, but they still haven't, they're at 87% reporting right now. So they haven't figured out, they haven't counted all of the votes. Manny reminds us that they're doing a recount in Georgia. Yeah, because they have to when it's that close. In Pennsylvania, a state that it looked like Trump absolutely was going to take, because at one point I think Biden was down by like 7%. Biden is now up 49.5 to 49.3, with 98% of the votes already have been counted, with 3,315,208 going to Biden and 3,300,483 going to Trump. So by about 15,000 votes right now in Pennsylvania, Biden is up. He's down in North Carolina. In North Carolina, it looks like Trump's going to win with 50.1% as opposed to Biden's 48.7% with 99% reporting. So I think it's a safe assessment to think that North Carolina is going to Trump, but it has not been called yet. So all Biden needs is one of these, because he's down by 6 electoral votes, not down from Trump, down from the 270 that he needs. And Nevada has 6 electoral votes. Georgia has 16 electoral votes. Pennsylvania has 20 electoral votes. And North Carolina has 15 electoral votes. So even if he just wins Nevada, then he's good to go. If he wins Pennsylvania, then he's way more than good to go, you know? So that's why I think the Voxes of the world are calling this, because the likelihood that somehow Trump would contest in all of these states and somehow Biden would lose every single one when he only needs to win one is very, very unlikely. Let's see what you guys are talking about here in the super chat. Sir Joker says, awesome except the whole Boston thing. What's awesome except the whole Boston thing? What happened in Boston? And then said, JK, we're BFF still. Oh, what, just that I'm from Boston? All New Yorkers say that. But when you're 3,000 miles away from home in LA, New York and Boston find a lot more similarities, I got to say. What are you guys thinking? Are you feeling very confident that Biden's going to take this? When do you think that we're going to know for sure? When are the CNNs of the world going to make this announcement? And then what's going to happen legally from there? Let me know in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, and in the super chat. Bruce Banner says, that's why these lawsuits are pointless. Kind of, but they will still drag it out. And I just think there's no way that Trump goes gracefully. There's just no way. Bella in the Streamlabs is talking about Johnny, so I'll hold on that for 1 second, because we're going to get into the Johnny Depp situation, because it is truly wild. Colin Murr says, I think we'll know by Biden's speech tonight. That might make sense. I saw that Biden went pretty quiet on Twitter today. I think he's finally, like, it's sinking in even for him that he's going to take this one, which I think even when he said before that he knew he was going to win, I don't think that he really did know. I think he felt confident still in the mail-in votes. But yeah, I think that Trump is going to go kicking and screaming, and that this is going to be a really, really messy turn of power, which we saw a lot of people talking about previously. Yeah. Right now, also, there's some good things taking place that we haven't touched upon really, because like I said, the Senate race has been on the back seat for me, because I have not been paying much. I've been paying a little attention, but I've just been thinking about who's going to be the fucking president. We flipped an Arizona Senate seat, which was really great. So slowly but surely, we're making our way. And yeah. Glenn Caesar says, I've heard Pennsylvania say they'll be counting tonight, and probably a few more days before they officially call it. Yeah, but the truth is, we don't need to know what's happening in Pennsylvania in order to call Biden the next president. Really, we just need to know what's happening in either, if he won Georgia, then he wins. If he wins Nevada, then he wins. And those places are further along than, no, Pennsylvania's pretty far along too, actually, with 98% counted in. Wow, just takes people a long time. This counting thing, man. This counting thing. I mean, it's totally legitimate, but it still just takes a minute. I thought Georgia going to recount. Yeah, Joseph, that's true. That's true. And then still some places aren't even willing to call Arizona, apparently, which like Fox News did. And then Trump got pissed. And then they were looking for a recount there, but he's not within that 1%. So a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. And we'll keep talking about it here for all the days that we have to. Speaking of keep talking about things, Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Mattingly arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor for killing Breonna Taylor. All fucking three of them. Biden being in that seat will make us one step closer to that, at least a step closer than we were with Trump. God. Fucking Trump. Am I the only one who just says that out loud sometimes? Let's see what else is going on in Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Samir says, hallelujah, the orange fuck muppet is done. They will call it later tonight. He can bitch and whine and threaten all he wants. The fact is that on January 20th, we're going to kick him out of the White House for good. Yeah, that for good part. I mean, it seems like he was like saying he was going to run again, which is wild, but he'll be straight up in his 80s. Like, whoa. Samir, thank you so much for your support always. You rock. Really appreciate you, honey. Blowing you a kiss. Matthew Gold in Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. If Trump has to be physically carried out of the White House, would be surreal and make good television. Yeah, I feel like the amount of movies and TV shows that are taking place about this election are being crazy. Aaron Sorkin is already writing one. He hasn't said that, but I just know that to be true in my soul. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, hello, Roxy. Love you. Happy Friday. Oh, as always, thanks for hanging out with us today. Yes, you've been a great friend to us. I hope you and the rock stars have a joy-filled rest of your day/weekend. Stay awesome. Peace, love, bunnies, and hugs to all. #smash cancer. I was talking to Smets. Smets and I are talking almost every day because he's a good friend of mine and I fucking adore him. But for anybody who doesn't know, my friend Kevin Smets was diagnosed with cancer and he is kicking its butt right now. But we have named his tumor officially. I hope he doesn't mind that I share this, but I gave his tumor a nickname, and this is what we are calling it. We've named him Mr. H. I can't tell you what it stands for, I don't think, just in case. But down with Mr. H. Fuck Mr. H. Mr. H can go fuck himself, and we're gonna slowly, but hopefully not too slowly, murder Mr. H. So, let's just keep doing that. But I texted him yesterday and I said, what you thinking for this weekend? Should we go clubbing? He said, bottle service at Bungalow. Let's go. I said, Mr. H is buying. Let's run up his tab. Oh, guys, I crack myself up. Oh, God, I love Kevin Smith so much. And yes, #smash cancer. Absolutely. So anytime you guys have any bad energy and you want to take it out on anybody, fuck Mr. H. Down with Mr. H. Mr. H can buy all of us drinks for the time being, and then he can burn. I love you guys giving the middle finger to Mr. H. Yeah. FH. Yeah, totally, Cinema. I hope Smets is okay with me saying that. I think he would be. All right. Let's go back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Villanelli says, is it allowed for Trump to not attend the inauguration if he doesn't want to? LOL. Like Obama attended Trump's, I think it's customary. Also, sorry if you answered this yesterday, but did you see the Baby Yoda clip? Why did you say, are you being serious to Brett? LOL. So I think you can do whatever the fuck you want. If you don't want to attend, then I don't think you have to. It's not like legally he has to be there. I think it'd be ridiculous, but that's who Trump is. So, and then I did see the Baby Yoda clip. And then I asked, what are you being serious? Because it was 2 years ago and Brett notoriously knows nothing about Star Wars. And what he was saying was that he wanted a Baby Yoda, like a Yoda prequel where he saw like Yoda as a baby in a movie. So I said, are you being serious? I can't tell. Like I legit never know with Brett. Like, is that really what you want? You want a prequel of Yoda watching him be a baby? So I said, are you serious? And then he kind of said yes and kind of said no. But I think it's unbelievable that he even called it there. That's obviously not what the show is. It's not a baby. It's not Yoda as a baby, but it's pretty like in a movie, but it's pretty unbelievable that this is what he like in some ways predicted that. So that's kind of wild. All right, we'll keep talking election.
Unbelievable.
Oh God, I hate when it does that. It's like I hit this one button and it fucks it up sometimes. We'll keep talking election for the rest of the show, guys. But let's move on to talk a little bit about Johnny Depp and what's going on over there in the meantime. So we did get that Streamlabs come in from Bella, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. She said, I believe Johnny, but the whole thing is messy. I think it's likely he was emotionally abusive, whereas she was physically. Both are bad, but he shouldn't be labeled a wife beater, which is what the Sun called him. If they fired Johnny, fire Amber, says Bella. Okay, interesting thoughts. I feel conflicted on this situation. So let me break it down for you guys and what's happened here, because I know it's hard to keep track of even like what was the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trials and what did happen here and now what is happening. So this was kind of an interesting, I don't like to use the word interesting because it's people's lives, and that it's like people's lives who are now incredibly fucked up from this situation. But essentially what happened was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are both in the Warner Brothers family. Johnny Depp as, what the hell is this thing I'm clicking on? Johnny Depp as somebody who is part of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, and Amber Heard as somebody who's part of the DC family, as she is Mara and Aquaman. And their relationship was an incredibly tumultuous relationship. So there have been multiple different incidents that have been brought up in court about them both being abusive towards one another. It seems like the alleged abuse goes back to 2013. And it got really fucking messy, just like as messy as something like this can get. There was what they called Poogate, which is where Johnny Depp accused Amber Heard of shitting in their bed, and Amber Heard said that it was the dog. There was the finger situation where Amber Heard said that Johnny cut off part of his finger, and Johnny claimed that Amber Heard tried to chop off part of his finger. There was the situation in which she multiple times said that he was physically abusive to her and that he hit her so hard that blood spattered on the wall, and that he threw her phone at her and it bruised her eye, and that she was on TV the next night and she covered it up with makeup. He claimed that she was physically abusive to him as well. They both claimed emotional abuse. There was a situation with their dogs in which Amber asked two people who worked for Johnny to lie because Amber needed to get those dogs to Australia. And so she asked them to lie because they were apparently not allowed to leave the country. Just the whole thing was really horrible. It was horrible to watch all of this. It was inappropriate to the max. It seems like both of them had horrific situations take place to them, and that this couple really clearly was toxic and should not be together. But a few days ago, Johnny Depp lost his libel case against the Sun over claims that he beat ex-wife Amber Heard. So he lost the case when he sued the Sun, who had described him as a wife beater. And that is kind of why this is all taking place right now. So the court dismissed the claim by Johnny Depp for compensation at the end of one of the most widely followed libel trials of the century. His lawyer said he would most likely appeal against the perverse and bewildering decision. In a 129-page ruling, the judge, Mr. Justice Nichols, said the claimant, which is Johnny Depp, has not succeeded in his action for libel. The defendants, the Sun and the news group newspaper, have shown that what they published in the meaning which I have held the words to bear was substantially true. The judge also added, I have found that the great majority of alleged assaults of Miss Heard by Mr. Depp have been proved to be the civil standard. He also said he accepted Heard's evidence that the allegations she made against Depp have had a negative effect on her career as an actor and activist. I've reached these conclusions having examined in detail the 14 incidents on which the defendants rely, as well as overarching considerations which the claimant submitted I should take into account. In those circumstances, Parliament has said that a defendant has a complete defense. The judge said that he did not accept Depp's characterization of his ex-wife as a gold digger. I recognize that there are other elements to the divorce settlement as well, but her donation of $7 million to charity is hardly the act one would expect of a gold digger. In 12 out of the 14 incidents of assault reported by Heard, the judge said he found the allegations proved. I do not regard the Sun's inability to make good these allegations in the other two incidents as of importance in determining whether they have established the substantial truth of the words that they published. So going back to what you said, Bella, in the chat or in the Streamlabs, when you believe Johnny, that's your prerogative, but I just hope that you're looking at all of the evidence presented. Amber presented some pretty damning evidence, bruises all over her face, cuts on her lip, and, Johnny has claimed that those are not real. And she has claimed that they are, and that she's covered them with makeup. But she did provide several photos in which she has black eyes or bruising on her face or bleeding from the lip. And I'm not saying that she was not abusive to Johnny Depp as well. But it does seem to me, based on the evidence presented and based on the judge's ruling, that Johnny Depp was being some form of abusive. Yes, Inma says Amber has photos of the Coke lines and bottles all over the house. Absolutely. But just because you are using drugs does not mean you're abusive. Correlating those two things is rather difficult. There was tape of her going off on Johnny as well, as Melissa points out. I'm not saying that she is innocent. I'm not saying that he is innocent. I'm just saying that to say that you believe one of them over the other, when this went to the court of law and he sued the Sun for libel and it was proven to not be libel, it's tough. It's a tough situation. But what I will say is it is highly interesting that today it came out that Warner Brothers would like Johnny Depp to ask Johnny Depp to step down, or asked him to decide for himself to step down from the Fantastic Beasts franchise. I wonder if this is part one of a two-part series. Are they going to do the same thing with Amber Heard? Now, Amber Heard didn't just lose a libel case, so they could say that's why. Amber Heard also, Johnny didn't ever say that he was worried that his life was at risk being with her. She was worried that her life was at risk. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. I think probably the safest thing for Warner Brothers to do would be to ask Johnny Depp to leave the franchise and ask Amber Heard to leave the franchise. I think that would probably be the most appropriate move here. But then again, in a completely different situation, when it comes to Fantastic Beasts, we also still have, and DC, we also still have this Ezra Miller situation, which never really got covered. So I think Warner Brothers is having a hard time figuring out where is their line, what should they do, and how do they move forward. With Johnny Depp's character, people have talked about, will they bring back Colin Farrell to fill the role? With Amber Heard's character, I don't know what you would do with Mira. Not that that should be the reason why somebody should stay, but I think that these are all things that Warner Brothers is probably thinking about. I think that Warner Brothers has a lot to go over, and I don't think that it's an easy decision or job to have right now to decide what to do with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I think both of their careers are going to be majorly affected by these lawsuits and their relationship. And it's really unfortunate that they were ever in each other's lives, because it sounds like they never should have been. Just to talk about what's happening with Johnny Depp. So reports were everywhere, but TMZ said Johnny Depp suffering a huge blow to his career on the heels of losing his wife-beating case. He's no longer starring in Fantastic Beasts. Oh my God, TMZ phrases things as dramatically as possible. The actor says Warner Brothers asked him to step down from his recurring role as Grindelwald in the Harry Potter spin-off franchise, and he's agreeing to walk away. Okay, so let's see his statement. In light of the recent events, I'd like to make the following short statement. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who has gifted me with their support and loyalty. I've been humbled and moved by your many messages of love and concern, particularly over the last few days. Secondly, I wish to let you know that I've been asked to resign by Warner Brothers from my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. Finally, I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong, and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. Thank you for reading. Sincerely, Johnny Depp. So that is what he said after losing the libel suit. Guys, this is a tough one. I think that if they do not ask Amber Heard to step down from Aquaman, I think that they are going to have some trouble on their hands, because if they're going to do it to him, to not do it to her is challenging, is a clear decision of them saying, we think that Johnny did this and we don't think that you did this. Or we think Johnny did this and we think you did this, but we don't care that you did this, but we do care that Johnny did this, which would be a tough call for them to make. Jig Yoda says Amber Heard is a Karen and Johnny's exes say that he wasn't abusive towards them. This is the thing, Jig Yoda. Just because you're not abusive to some people does not mean you're not abusive to others. I've talked about this on the show multiple times. Like, I have been in situations with people who are proven abusers after I was in the situation with them who did not abuse me. We've talked about the Joey Ryan situation before. He was nothing but a gentleman, a kind friend to me, darling to me, but that doesn't mean he didn't do what other women are claiming he did. So this Jig Yoda to say, and I just want to make this very clear, that because he was not abusive to his exes, he was not abusive to Amber Heard, is absolutely not true. We can't say that. And I do agree with Cheney in here that we have to stop calling people Karen in this regard, because if she is abusing him as well, but she's getting physically abused, that's a Karen? In what way? In what way? And I do think that they both, this is a disgusting situation, but if she's a Karen, then he's a Ken. And, you know, maybe his other exes weren't abusive to him, and maybe he was abusive back to her because she was abusive to him. And two wrongs clearly don't make a right, but we can't just say that he was not abusive because he was not abusive to his exes. That doesn't correlate or make any sense. All right, let's see what's going on in Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Hitman Hudson says, so how many consecutive life sentences do you think Trump will receive if he loses? After all the fraud, sexual misconduct, and arguably light treason, I think he's going to get more than one unless Biden pulls a Gerald Ford and pardons his butt. I don't think he's going to get life sentences, not even close. But I do think he might get arrested. We will have to see. Samir says, Mr. H can suck a razor-wired dick. Fuck Mr. H. Hashtag smash cancer. Samir, I'm so with you. Thank you for that. Streamlabs, absolutely epic. I appreciate it. And to Jake Yakoveta in here for reminding everybody, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Yeah. Yeah. Challenging topic to talk about, guys, because number one, none of us were there. Number two, they've both seemingly lied and they've both seemingly done some shady, horrible things. So it's a really, really hard topic to speak about. But I think it's also important to speak about because it's an abusive situation in which many people are in abusive situations. It's a Hollywood topic, and we are seeing the ramifications for Johnny Depp. And will we see them for Amber Heard? What do you guys want to see happen in the Fantastic Beasts franchise right now? I think it also would be different if Fantastic Beasts was crushing it, if he was like beloved in the franchise, but Fantastic Beasts, like the last movie sucked. I don't care about them anymore. And people already felt weird about him being in the franchise. So, yeah. Jake, razor wire dick, though. Glenn, razor wire dick. Totally. You guys are just laughing at it, and so am I still. So am I. Okay. Before we get out of here, I do want to talk a little bit non-spoiler of Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, also known as Chapter 10. If you guys give spoilers in the chat, you will be thrown out forever. We don't fuck with that shit. We don't spoil things for people, especially Star Wars things. So I'm just letting you guys know this will be completely spoiler free. If you want to hear my spoiler thoughts right after this, I'm going to go live for the $3 up tier on my Patreon, which, by the way, in the next week, I'm going to completely redo my Patreon. I've decided because I've just been like, now that I'm with the World Girls and figuring out how to do that Patreon, I'm so inspired by the ways that I can actually do it. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a spoiler review on my Patreon right after this. But right now, spoiler-free Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, Chapter 10. And I would love to know what you guys think. So don't forget to Streamlabs in, super chat right now, like this video, all of that stuff. 200 people watching live. You guys fucking rock. So here we go. Mandalorian was Season 1, I thought was excellent. Season 2, Episode 1, you guys know I really liked, but it was a lot more same of Season 1. Season 2, Episode 2 was completely different for me, tonally. And I really liked that. I thought that it was a strong episode. However, I wish that we moved forward a little bit more. I wish that we're starting to see what's going to go on in Season 2 a bit more. It seems like we're not really doing that. I liked, though, the themes of this episode. I thought that was really strong. Anything that touches my soul, my heart, anything that makes me feel that warm sensation inside or whatever it is, I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I really did enjoy the themes of this episode. And also I enjoyed the tone of this episode. It had this little like spookier vibe, a little horror-y, and that was pretty cool, especially because we're just coming off of Halloween. We're in the this time period where it's like we're all kind of about that. So in general, this episode was good, not great. The reason it wasn't great was because, like I said, all of these seem to be incredibly episodic right now, which is totally fine. However, I would like me to have a little more of an understanding of what we're doing here right now, But it looked great. These episodes must be costing them an arm and a freaking leg. And I also think that this one was a little slow. I know most people want these to be hour-long episodes, but I believe this episode came in at 42 minutes, and I was like, it could have been in the 30s. Like, just felt like it dragged a little bit for me in the middle. But it was also still really cool to look at. So, yeah. What did you guys think? Non-spoilers, how did you guys feel about this episode? Baby Yoda is a dick, because I'll talk more about that in the spoiler review. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to wait till next week so there's more story. I think that's cool if you kind of line them all up. Good, not great sums it up perfectly to me, says Zadius. Yeah, really good. Just solidly good. Oh, it was only 39 minutes, says Jig Yoda. Wow, maybe it could have been 35 then. It was just kind of like did that draggy thing. I love the humor in it, says Chris. Yeah. Some of the humor is really spot on. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that brief thing. Also, by the way, I did watch The Bachelorette, and I know that you guys don't really watch the show, but that episode was effing nuts. So I put out a tweet about it that kind of shared my thoughts. All right, that's it for today for Live at the Roxy. Let me see if there's any last minute Streamlabs coming in while I let you guys know that we will be doing a show tomorrow. It might go up a little early because Hey Jay's and Alzheimer's walk is tomorrow, and they're not doing an actual walk. We haven't figured out quite the situation yet, but I will say also shout out to Dwayne Burke, who you guys know lost his father earlier this year to Alzheimer's, and Dwayne matched our $729 that we raised here live at the Roxy. He matched it, and so he just sent Haley for her walk $729. So that is a lot of money that the rock stars raised to end Alzheimer's, and I'm so freaking proud. Yeah, it's almost $1,500 that we raised for her and Alzheimer's walk. So that's awesome. And Dwayne's the man, and just obsessed with him in general. So anyway, let me get these last minute questions before I get out of here. Kenneth Dowling says, do you think there's a shot for the Democrats to take the Senate and still more states with still more states counting votes? I mean, I thought no, but now, I mean, you just don't fucking know. I think it's likely that they won't take the Senate, but every seat we get closer is an important effing seat. So you just don't know. But I also thought that Trump was going to win president. So they got to count a little quicker. Not really. I got to be more patient. But, watching this is freaking challenging. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Again, I might be up a little earlier. I'll let you guys know. Hopefully we'll have more election news. And other than that, stay safe, stay sane, take care of yourselves. Don't go to the club, actually. And if you are a patron, then you can join me now. I'll be live in like 2 minutes. Patreon.com/RoxyStrider, $3 up tier for a spoiler-filled review and conversation with you guys. You can ask any questions or whatever about Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, Chapter 10. Much love, everybody.